Ready or not, be prepared to have a good time at the movies. Shotgun Wedding is taken to a whole new level in this movie, Ready or Not, a dark comedy opening this week. And I went in thinking, okay, this sounds promising. According to the trailer, on paper, it doesn't sound so great. But when I watched the trailer, I thought, oh, okay, this looks interesting. And now I'm really regretting not doing the interviews. I was offered interviews with the actors, and I didn't really recognize any of the names, and I didn't really even watch the trailer beforehand, and it was a busy week, so I declined. Now I'm really regretting it because this movie is so fun, and the lead actress, Samara Weaving, I love this woman. I'm going to watch everything she's in now. She plays the bride who's being hunted down by this family that she married into. Lucky her. And her personality in the movie just really made the movie because her reactions were some of the best reactions to pretty much effed up situations that she's put in. And she just has so much, she just exuded personality, and those big doughy eyes also helped the performance. And she is a dead-on ringer for Margot Robbie. Ironically, she is Australian as well, so that's pretty hilarious. They can play sisters in the movie coming up, and hopefully someone's thinking about writing that up right now. Also starring in Ready or Not is Adam Brody, who I really, really liked in this film. Usually he annoys me in films because he plays that same character over and over, which is like an annoying know-it-all. And in here he had a lot more depth, and I really enjoyed his performance, so I would say that's my second favorite character in the movie. You also have Mark O'Brien, you have Andie MacDowell, which probably is the most recognizable face here. And the movie is directed by the directors responsible for the movie VHS. They had a lot of hoopla, I remember, when they came out. I think it was in 2012. Their names are Matt Bettinelli Open and Tyler Gillette. In Ready or Not, Samara Weaving's character named Grace is married into a very well-to-do family named Le Domoth. And obviously, taken out of the Bart Simpson page, obviously the film sounds very, the title sounds very similar to The Dumbass. So, and literally they are all dumbasses. And that's the running joke throughout the movie, is that these people are not too bright. And they keep making mistakes when they're hunting the bride, Grace. And it's a tradition when you marry into the family, when you marry, you have to play this game. And poor Grace, unfortunately, picks the wrong, she doesn't pick it. It comes out of this box, which it generates on its own. And so she gets like the worst card. It's called hide and seek, which means that they're going to hunt her down. She has to hide, and they're going to hunt her down until they find her. And then they're going to have to sacrifice her to essentially some person, and I won't give the ending, but it just sounds ridiculous. And of course the husband, Alex, is devastated because he was hoping and praying that she would not draw the card. So he's torn. Grace at this point has no clue what is really going on behind the scenes, and the husband, Alex, pretty much sets it up like, oh, it's a tradition, we'll just do this and get the hell out of here the next day. And then in the meantime, you start to find out more about her personality, her background, which you're going to have to know. That's a nice house. For the story, because she's not going to just take it lying down. So we know this character is like, oh, they're in trouble because she is a street smart woman who is not going to let others decide her fate. So throughout the movie, Grace has to outsmart the family. And the other family members, you have a sister and who's not very bright. She's a cokehead. And so she keeps making mistakes the whole way through, and they're hilarious, of course. And pretty much everybody is inept. And you also have and then you have certain characters where you think they're going to go a certain way, but then they go the opposite. So I really like that some of these characters were not predictable. I mean, there's some things that are set up where where you think, okay, this is going to go this way, or they set up a character flaw in the beginning, so you know that's going to play out at the end, and there's going to be a payoff. And there's a lot of that in the movie. There's a lot of payoff because they do set things up early, the red herrings. And so you're like, okay, it might be a little predictable. There was one thing that was predictable because it was based early on, because we know what happened to some of these characters as youngsters. So you kind of, it's in your head that it might go this way. So, but that's what I liked about the film, that it plants these ideas in your heads, but you don't know if it's actually going to be paid off, and it does. Sometimes in the way you expect, and sometimes in the opposite way. So that's what I really liked. I thought it was very clever that the way they did that is that set up some things early to kind of not throw you off, maybe not throw you off, but maybe what's the word I'm trying to use? Plant ideas in your head, like I had said earlier. There's a lot of blood and gore in the movie, but it's all laughable. So while it's tragic, you're laughing at it at the same time. I know that sounds terrible, but I mean, it's a movie, so we'll accept it on this level. But so there's a lot of blood and gore, and all of it is because the family, like I mentioned earlier, are not very bright. They make some stupid mistakes, and so this is why Grace is able to, how do I say what that's saying? Elude them as long as she can, because they're just so dumb. And it's saying a lot about, I'm not generalizing about rich people, but there's a constant theme in the movie that reinforces the fact that a lot of the silly things that rich people do is because they feel like they can do whatever they want because they got money. And, a couple of times Grace will say, like, I hate freaking rich people. And there's another scene where there's a totally different character and he does something, and that's when she says that line. So it was pretty hilarious. I also really love that the idea behind the movie is very, very original. I mean, we've had movies where people are being hunted for some specific reason, but I think this one felt just very, very original because of the characters and the setting, and it takes place in a home, so you're pretty much in an enclosed space, which I think added to the horror of it. And the writing was pretty spectacular as far as like the dialogue. There's some cheesy dialogue. Sometimes it would remind me of Evil Dead. If you watch that film and you like the campy kind of humor, you have a lot of that in here. So I really like that aspect. So it's a very unique movie in terms of the genre, and I don't think anybody expects to go in and enjoy it as much, but now that I'm telling you, you probably expect it. So lower your expectations. Just go, figure you're going to go see a horror comedy and enjoy it. But like I said, I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. There were some people I overheard talking after the movie. They were being asked by somebody else, like, did you like it? And they're like, And I'm like, what is wrong with these people? So if you don't like campy humor, this is not for you, because there's a lot of camp. But if you enjoy that, like the Evil Dead and those types of movies, then you'll enjoy this movie. This is definitely one title I'm going to add to my Blu-ray collection because I really enjoyed it. It was very original. It was very unique. And, it's hard to find films like that nowadays. So, ready or not, go check it out.